Hello friends. In this particular program, I'm going to illustrate how do you make use of function in Python. So instead of writing the code line by line, you can split the code into different segments, and that's where the function can be utilized. As you can see over here, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well as 6 functions are there. Each function has got its own dedicated task. Each function is taking some parameters. Maybe some function will return some value, although I did not mention their data type, what they are returning. That means I want that you people can use this particular program to upgrade and mention the parameter type and the return type, what it is accepting and what it's sending. We all know that Python has got the feature of type inference, but still it will be a good practice if you explicitly mention their data types. So let's start with the program. So here is my terminal, and let me write Python. The file name is customers.py. As I hit enter, you get to see the menu. So that means by default the magic function or the dunder function is working, and that is giving a call to the menu. So let me expand the menu function. We have got a list over here. So this particular list is going to hold data. Alright. Along with that, we have an infinite while loop, and because of that reason we are seeing this particular menu with different options right over here. In the screen it is clearly showing those options. Now as a user, I've been asked to enter a choice. So I will take the input from the user and I'm using the input function. We all know that input function by default data type is string type, so even if I give a number as input, that will be converted to string. And because of that reason, you will see all the choices wrapped within single quote. Yeah, you can go for typecasting. In that case, you don't have to use this quotation. That you could do actually. So I have got different options like add customer, display all customer, display specific customer, remove a customer, and to terminate from the program. Well, what I do is like as a flow of control is all about, I should have gone for the option number 1. But intentionally what I'm doing is that I'm selecting option number 2, although I know there is no customer in my application. So if I press 2 and hit the enter, so the 2 will come right in the choice, and the first condition will not be true, but the second condition is actually true. So here we are giving a call to a function by the name called display underscore all underscore customers. If you see, I have given a very clear naming convention. I'm following it because that's how it will helpful for your team members when you will be working under a project to understand what exactly or which particular function you are calling. As a parameter, what I'm doing, I'm passing the list which I have declared right over here. So the control will jump to this particular function, and this is the parameter which is supposed to accept the list that I'm sending, and I did not mention any specific data type of the list. So that's the reason if I hover my mouse pointer over here, it's showing that it's a list with any form of data it can hold actually. So let me expand this function to show you what it is inside this function, and here it goes. Well, this is a good practice, like prevention is better than the cure. So what I'm doing is that I'm checking whether actually there is any content present inside the list or not. So if not customer underscore list, that means there is nothing inside the list. In that case, this particular statement we are expecting to see. So let's go and run the code. I hit the enter over here, and I will be seeing the following statement. Yes, as expected, because I don't have any item right over here. So that's the reason the customer does not present is been shown. It's working pretty smoothly. So now I will do what? I will get back to the menu again because it's an infinite while loop. So once this process comes up, it goes back to the again one until and unless I don't terminate from the program, I don't go for the break, the iteration will continue. So now this time, let be a good user. I'm going to press the option number 1. I hit the enter. It will go to my next function that is called add customer, and here I'm passing again the list which I have initialized or declare right over here. Sorry, not initialize, rather declaration I have done over here. So this function is meant to initialize something for this particular list. So let's collapse this and let's come to the function called add customer. As you saw right over here, that this is going to give a call to the add customer. So here it goes. So let's come over here. What we got to see, we have to give certain input. So let me quickly give the input over here. I hit the enter. It is prompting me into my first name. So let's go for Peter. Enter last name Parker. enter email, so peter@gmail.com. It's a fake email ID. I hit the enter and it asks me I have to enter a phone number, so I go by phone number, and this program does not have any kind of validations, so I'm just giving arbitrary value. And as I hit the enter, what would happen? Well, a function is giving a call to another function. Yes, you can do that. A function calling another function is very natural. So I have a function called create customer, as you can see right over here, which is passing the following list of parameters. So over here I have got these 4 input which I have given: first name, last name, email and phone number. That has been passed right over here. Well, why am I doing this? I could have written the rest of the code right over here. Yeah, you could have done that, but this is a better alternative, so that you are splitting the code and you are making the application more loosely coupled, because you want a specific function will deal with a specific particular task to obtain, so you don't want to put too much of complexity on a given function. So this is a better option. So let me expand this function and see what we are doing. Oh, we are returning what we are returning. We're returning a dictionary, and here is the key value pair. So I could have right over here the return type, which I didn't do. You can do it at your end as well. In fact, that will be the good approach, so that it adds the clarity that what exactly the function is receiving and what it is returning. Okay, so it is returning me a dictionary, and that dictionary will be stored right over here. Great. So this function is passing the parameters and it is going to return me a complete dictionary, and that is a dictionary which I have given the name as new customer. Now what we are going to do? Well, we are going to associate that dictionary at the 0th index of my list, because we know that lists start with indexing, so the very first index will be 0th index. So the 0th index is going to hold the address of the dictionary that has been created right in this line. Okay, so you can say that the customer list is a list which is going to hold address of the independent dictionaries that will be getting generated through this particular function. Okay, nice, I believe, right? So it's a list which in each of index is going to hold an address of the dictionary that has been created right over here. That's how the list is going to move forward. So I hit the enter and this thing happens behind the scene, and as a result I see the customer gets added. And that's how we have completed the first 2 functions, and we saw how beautifully they are working. And in fact, this is a very common approach that you have to do it. A list will often refer to a dictionary, a list of dictionary, because consider that this set of data is like one particular record that is there in a table in a database. So in this way, a table will contain multiple records, and each record consider them as a dictionary, and the entire list to be like a database table. I'm just asking you to visualize that way. So ultimately your list is going to have individual record, and each record is going to refer in context to the dictionary. That the way you can even imagine. So we are back with the menu, and this time we can go for the option number 2 because we already have got one record. Okay, one more thing we can do is that before we give a call to display all customer, let's add one more instance or more record, I can say. So this time I'm going by the name called Kabir. These are my favorite characters. Khan, I love this character, Chak De India. Kabir @gmail.com. It's pretty inspirational movie. So I'm going with this phone number right now. Again, I'm saying these are all fake phone numbers, fake details I'm sending. So customer got added. So right now we have got 2 instances in my list. So for that reason, now I can go and press the option number 2, and it will give a call to the display all customers. So before we get into that, let's visualize what is there inside this. So we already saw that this portion is, at least at this point of time, is not going to work because the customer list has already got couple of record. So for that reason, what will happen? Well, it will come right over here. So let me run the code over here. Option number 2, I hit the enter. As I do that, you get to see very neat and clean both the customers that has been present over here. So how exactly it's working? Well, we know that what happened in enumerator. Well, it will pick up one item from the list, because it's in the process of iteration. So imagine at the 0th index, whichever item is there, or whichever dictionary is there, that will be picked up from this list, and that will be stored right over here. The index will be stored over here. So in the first iteration, I will refer to 0th index, and it will have the information about the dictionary that is present at the 0th index. So visualize this, that again this process will be repeated. At that point of time it will pick up the second item, which is basically index number 1. That 1 will come right over here and the object will be stored inside this particular customer. That's how the thing is going to happen. But I want to show the detail of the respective customer, so for that reason I have got for inner loop over here, because I have to show that entire thing individually. So if you see over here, this time I'm going for customer dot item, because inside this customer you will be having only one customer, and dot item will do what? It will split the item in the form of key value pair. So here I will be having the key and here I will be having a value, and that's what you are seeing. The reason what I'm doing is that I'm replacing the key. So as you can see over here, I'm replacing the key and I'm providing the title. The title will give me the uppercase, lowercase, and what I'm doing over here, if you notice, let me come over here. If you notice, I have got this underscore, and that what I want to replace it. It will not look good, right? If I keep the underscore in the output, it will not look good. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking up the key, which is basically first underscore name. I'm giving a call to the replace function so that it replaces this underscore. So it will retain the individual character, but it will replace the underscore with a blank space. And because of that reason, you can see first space name, last space name, these spaces are there. And with the title, what I'm doing is that I'm just uppercase, I'm putting the first character as uppercase. That's how the title function will work. So I have just added this particular formatting so that it looks really good, because you can have your attribute name, I mean your table, the attribute that is there in the table can be of different type, or it can have some special symbols over there which you don't want to be reflected as an output. So for that reason, this kind of formatting is actually good practice. Okay, otherwise you can simply print the key and it would have shown me this, but I believe that will not look that pretty. And then finally we are displaying the value associated to that particular key, and that's how the value has been shown, and this is going to run until all the keys has not been sorted for the given dictionary. So you can see over here how we are going for inner loop as well as outer loop. So this particular format is very important for you to remember, because this is how you actually handle a list that contain dictionaries. So I will ask you people to go through this particular segment as many number of times so that you are convenient that what exactly is happening right over here. Okay, so that's all from the function called display all customers. So let's get back to the menu right now. I will be going for the option number 3. So I give the other number 3, and what happened over here is it will give a call to this statement, and here we have a function called display customer by phone number, and we are passing the entire list once again. So let's go to this particular function. Let me collapse this, and we are right over here. Display customer by phone number. It receives the complete list, and now what we are going to do is we are going to perform a search operation on basis of phone number. So let me hit the enter. As I do that, it is asking me enter the phone number to search. This is the first phone number, the second phone number. So let's go with the second phone number, that is the phone number of Kabir. Okay, so the phone number is let me do intentionally. So 2233445566, and I'm adding 11. I know this particular phone number is not there. So what will happen in that case? I hit the enter. As I do that, it says it's not a valid, right? So let's see how it is working. So it took the phone number is over here, and I have declared a flag variable called false, because after all it's a search operation. Maybe item is there, maybe item is not there. So we need some kind of variable that will hold the status. So initially this particular variable is having the value false, and now we are performing a simple linear search that we have done in different programming language like C or in Java, because there are two types of searches, the linear search and binary search. So since it is not sorted data, so for that reason we are going for linear search. Had this been a sorted, we could have gone for binary search. Okay, so over here the time complexity will be a big O of n. That's the main thing over here. So I have my variable over here, and in the first iteration I picked up the original, I mean from the list I picked up the key, sorry, not key, it's a dictionary. I picked up the key, and now over here I'm comparing the specific key, that is phone number. Remember, the phone number is one such specific key right over here. So I'm comparing the dictionary in context to the specific key. So here it is. So here is my dictionary, and I'm targeting a specific key present in the dictionary in comparison with the input that I've given. two thing can, like out of two thing, one thing will happen: either the item will match or else the item will not match. So in case if the item did not match, then it will move up, it will pick up the next object and it will store right over here and will do the comparison once again. So in this case we have got two record. So twice the iteration happened, but in none of the case the decision making statement was able to succeed. In that case, the variable found, which is like a status, remain false. And finally, if not found means if it is not true, in that case we will say the customer did not exist, and because of that reason you are getting this output. So if not found means if it is not true, that means other way around, it is false, then that particular statement will work over here. Okay, that's how the thing is working. Okay, let me run the code once again, and this time I will give the valid phone number of Kabir. So 22334455, this is the phone number which is right over here. Okay, 66 is also there, sorry, my mistake, 66 is there. I hit the phone, I hit the input right now, and once I do that I get the complete detail of Kabir. So the phone number stores over here. Here also the found will have initial value false, and now we are going to pick up one item that is stored inside this, which is the first dictionary, but the phone number did not match because the first dictionary was about Peter. This is the phone number that did not match. It went up once again, it picked up the second dictionary from the list, it stored over here, it did the comparison, and this time the comparison really worked. So here we are going to now again redo the same thing what I have shown you previously. I'm going to replace my keys in this format so that it looks good, and associated value I'm going to project, and make sure you do this for each of the keys. So once the inner loop has completed the work, now I'm going to apply the boolean value false replaced by true because item was got match. And there is no point of continuing my iteration further, so I went for the break keyword. Maybe there can be n-1 items can be there. We already got one match, so I'm just figuring out that if one item is present in a given list, I will not continue it further, so I just went out of the iteration. And since this value is now converted to true, hence this particular statement is going to not execute because it is true actually. And that's how you saw the output of the item that got match. So that's how we did the input of the search functionality. Now let's go and do the last one, that is called remove of customer by phone number. Well, in this case what I will be doing is that I'm going to remove the item of Peter. So here again I will come up, let me show you. So here I'm taking again the input of the user, which like what I have done. Here also I'm doing a search operation because when I'm going to remove a particular object, I need to find out where the object is present. So for that reason I have to go for search even. So here again I'm going to call to the enumerate like what we have done over here. So if you see over here, I did not call enumerate over here, I directly picked up individual object from my list. But here what I'm doing is that I'm giving a call to the enumerator because I need that particular index where exactly the item is present. But in this case the index was not the entire thing because I was targeting a particular key, so indexing was not that important. So from these two functions you understood that where to give a call to index or where to give a call to enumerate and where you can keep it as it is. These two things are very important. So this particular program is all about list and its data that is present within the list. Right now over here we have a dictionary. So I give a call to the enumerate function, we have a complete object at the 0th index, the index number is right over here. Here also we are checking the phone number did match or not, and the moment it did get matched, so let me come over here, 1122334455 is the phone number of Peter. In this case it will get matched, and once it get mapped I'm giving a call to the pop function, and in the pop function I have to mention the index, and this is the 0th index. That's the reason why I need to give a call to enumerate. So you can understand that how exactly this particular program is becoming so important because it is going to explore all the different functionalities that a list is going to provide and when to call which particular function. So I give a call to the pop will remove the item based on that particular index where it gets matched, and it will also show me the statement that this particular phone number has been removed. Since the customer was been found, so status I change it from false to true because maybe I want to search an item that did not exist. For that reason this particular portion has to be there. And finally since the item got matched, so this particular line will not work. Now I hit the enter, and as I do that it says that customer with the following phone number has been removed. So now if I give a call to my display once again, I mean display all, option number 2, this time I will not see Peter anymore. So I hit the enter, and unfortunately we don't see Peter, and right now we are seeing only Kabir. So Peter has been removed. So before we wrap up the program, let me add one more time a new user to see whether the continuation is actually working or not. I hit the enter, and this time I'm giving my name and my last name and my email ID, which is again a fake email ID I'm giving, and I hit a phone number, which is also again a fake phone numbers, and I hit the enter, and the record has been added successfully. Let's go and click on the display all customers to see that along with Kabir my detail is visible or not, and exactly that's what you are seeing. Now if you see over here, each time I'm removing one item, it is, so even if I remove Kabir, so first item is being shown as 1, the second item is shown as 2. So if I remove Kabir this time, so what will happen in this case, the customer ID, what it will be showing, will it be still continue with 2? That's something you think about. That's what I am giving a task, that if I remove Kabir, and again after that if I print, what will be the ID that will be shown in context to Swaroop Shah user details. That's something a little bit you need to verify it. Okay, so I believe that this particular program, as well as this particular video, I try to cover up few of the points. The first thing is that to come up with the modular structure, this particular function, passing parameters, receiving data from the function, calling function in between, how do you handle items within the list, when to call which particular function. We saw a good number of functions that are associated with the list. All these things are very, very important part of Python programming. So make sure you go through this particular program, and definitely it will be helpful for you. So see you very soon in my next video. Until then, have a nice time. Bye bye.